leadership test.
You need help on how to pass your business leadership test.
Why you?
Don't worry about who I am. I'm a business leadership professional. I've interviewed a chartered accountant, and I've also read and analyzed the book Tim Hortons Always Fresh by Ron Joyce.
Alright, I trust you. Help me out, man.
Day business world, employees want to be challenged, and at the same time, the work has to be enjoyable. When I interviewed Jonathan Lung, this chartered accountant, he states that this is very true. Even in his firm, his employees want to be challenged every day. Now we can see this when employees are given new files to work on every day. Each file is more advanced than the next file, and they have to find places that they can improve on from the previous work. But their work at the same time also has to be enjoyable. This can be shown through financial satisfaction, where they get paid more, or also through good work environment. Their environment has to be clean and everything has to be organized. Cullen's theory that employees want power, affiliation, and achievement. Jonathan Lung also states that this is very true. He said that in this world, there are three kinds of people. The people that make things happen, watch things happen, and wonder what happened. In his firm, you always want your employees to be motivated to be the kind of worker that is number one, the ones that make things happen. You have to remember, modern day business culture versus ones in the 1900s, 1950s is very different. You have to remember that back then, employees wanted minimal job satisfaction, which they only wanted high pay and job stability. But in modern day, things are very different. Employees now want to be acknowledged, praised for their knowledge, and respected. After interviewing Jonathan Lung, I have seen this to be very true. His employees are often praised in public and also criticized in private. He makes sure that his employees demand that kind of level of respect. If you're running a company, you need to remember to acknowledge all your employees and let them know when they're doing stuff right and let them know when they're doing something wrong in private. Those leadership styles that you learn, autocratic, laissez-faire, and democratic. After interviewing Jonathan Lung, he told me that these three theories are very true in theoretical, like in your textbook, but also they're very different when it comes to your business office environment. It's impossible just to have one type of leadership style to run an office. In an office, autocratic often has to be the dominant one because there has to be some form of structure in the firm. Very seldomly is there ever laissez-faire style leadership unless it's more into like a creative style of work. And it's often never democratic because democratic would go nowhere and it would take too long and it's not efficient. But the most important thing to remember is there is no black and white because these three things are too different. You have to remember that a good business has a mix of all three of them. You have to remember that the customer is always right. This sounds tacky, but you remember that it's actually really true. Jonathan Lung stated that if an unsatisfied customer came up to him with negative feedback, he would have to acknowledge the customer's response even if he agreed or disagreed with it. Then even if he disagrees with it, he would then consult with his other staff and find out how they would fix this problem and stop it from ever happening again. So the most valuable thing is you have to remember that if the customer is not happy, you need to find a way to make them happy because that can affect the reputation of your firm and also affect your business. That in the new business paradigm thinking, teamwork building skills and motivational skills are really important. These are important because they are constant problems that employers struggle with each day, and they're never one to be truly solved. Jonathan claims this is also very true. In your class, you may also have studied WestJet and their corporate culture and their success of it. You have to remember that it's not just about doing your job right, but doing everything else right. You have to remember to take care of your customers. E. Deming's quality control theory. Remember that quality control is the basics of your foundation. You must remember that the overall quality of your work determines the success of your corporation. Jonathan claims this to be very true. In his accounting firm, he must make sure that all his records and transactions don't have errors, or else they can affect another client's financial miscalculation. You need to keep your employees happy to run your company successfully. In other words, if you empower your employees, trust them, and let them know that they're a big part of the company, they can actually have great contributions to your company, Therefore, all in all, it would lower your turnover rates, create higher quality work, and also engage employees would also make them feel one with the company. Understand the worth of your company. It's really easy to overestimate the value of your company, and I think it's worth a lot more than it actually is. Remember that when Jonathan said he provides accounting services and advice for his clients, it has to be done at the most reasonable prices. Really important point, and you need to pay attention to this. You need to remember what separates your business than your competition, because there's a huge world out there and everyone's seeking those clients. The philosophy is teamwork and expertise to meet services needs while always taking care of your customers. Communication and feedback is key, which leads to customer referrals. You need a wide range of services. You need to meet deadlines responsibly. You need to keep everything at a reasonable cost, and that all in total will help the business grow.
Helpful. I'm ready for tomorrow.